Well, apparently 50 Cent and Big Meech done had a falling out. While Big Meech was locked up, 50 produced the show, BMF, made Meech's son the lead actor with no acting experience. Now, if you know 50 Cent at all, you know you don't link up with his enemy. But here go Meech with one of 50's longtime ops, Rick Ross. They cheesing, showing all their new teeth, having a good old time. You do not link with Rick Ross publicly if you down with 50 Cent. Just to be safe, don't shop at Ross. Don't listen to Diana Ross. Don't watch Friends. They got a character named Ross. So 50 ain't like that. Start saying Big Meech is a rat and he can prove it and all of that. So then Lil Meech text 50 and 50 posted the text. He like, yo man, 50, I thought we was good. I thought we was real friends in real life. We don't even with Rick Ross. He just gave my pops a little bread until we shoot the next season of BMF. And 50 said, what next season, Lil? This is who 50 Cent has been throughout his career. Irv Gotti just passed away, and that's what 50 posted. I was proud of him because he said God bless him. I said, oh, 50's becoming a better person. I thought he was going to buy tickets to the funeral so his family couldn't come. I'm being careful what I say in this video before 50 say, what comedy show, Lil?
So BMF is BMF, but not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing them no favors. They both profited, right?
Welcome back to StarHush, where the drama never sleeps, and neither do we. Big Meech thought he was making boss moves by linking up with Rick Ross, thinking he had found a solid ally in the industry. But now, he's realizing the game ain't what it used to be, and loyalty is just another word people throw around for convenience. After turning his back on 50 Cent and siding with Ross, Meech walked out of prison expecting a golden ticket back to the top, only to be met with nothing but betrayal. At first, Rick Ross was rolling out the red carpet, showing Meech all kinds of love, even throwing around promises about getting him back on his feet. It looked like Meech was about to step back into the world like a king, with Ross playing the role of his biggest supporter. But in true industry fashion, as soon as things didn't go exactly as planned, Ross pulled one of the biggest switch-ups we've seen in a minute. Not only did he back out of whatever promises he made to Meech, but he went straight to the man Meech had turned away from, 50 Cent. And let's be real, that's not just disloyalty, that's downright shady.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
Now Meech is out here, standing on his own, forced to watch as the man he trusted the most jumped ship to cozy up to his old rival. It's clear as day. Meech might have been a king in the streets back in the day, but the industry plays by a whole different set of rules now, and as much as he thought he was stepping into a new era of power, he's quickly learning that not everybody who shakes your hand is really down for you.
I never folded, never told, never will. Death before the...
Why did Rick Ross suddenly flip on Big Meech like that? And is 50 Cent secretly pulling the strings behind the scenes? Oh, trust me, this story is deeper than it looks, and things are about to get real messy. Big Meech thought walking out of prison meant walking straight back into power. Back to the respect, the money, the connections, the empire he built. But instead, he's standing alone, watching everything crumble while the people he thought were in his corner are nowhere to be found. The same man he turned his back on, 50 Cent, is thriving off the BMF brand. Meanwhile, the one he ran to for protection, Rick Ross, just vanished, like he never even knew him. Let's be real, this wasn't an accident. Ross was whispering in Meech's ear from the very beginning, planting the idea that he should cut off 50 and ride with him instead. He played the role of the loyal ally, promising Meech a major comeback, only to leave him high and dry the second it didn't benefit him anymore. But here's where it gets wild. Ross didn't just abandon Meech. He ran right back to 50. Yes, the same 50 Cent that Ross has been beefing with for years. The same 50 he once called out on diss tracks. Suddenly, they're doing business again? Make it make sense. Now the streets are talking, and people are saying Ross may have actually done 50 Cent the biggest favor ever. Because if Meech could switch sides so easily, was he ever really loyal? Was he really standing on business, or was he just looking for the next best deal? And now, Meech is scrambling, trying to figure out what went wrong. He's watching his legacy concert flop, realizing the industry isn't showing him the love he expected. And who's the easiest person to blame? Rick Ross, the man who hyped him up, made him turn on 50 and then dipped like it was all just business. Meech thought he was making power moves, but in reality, he was just another pawn in a bigger game.
We 2 days away from the Big Meech concert. Get your tickets right now. Make sure everybody flying to the city for this. It's gonna be huge.
Let's be real for a second. If you break this down, it's clear Meech was nothing more than a pawn in Rick Ross's game. Ross never had real intentions of helping Meech. He wasn't trying to put him back on his feet, rebuild his legacy, or make sure he had a solid comeback. No, Ross had one goal only, to humiliate 50 Cent and snatch the BMF brand for himself.
Look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
But the second things got messy, Ross disappeared faster than a fake industry friend when the money runs out. Now Meech is out here scrambling, playing the victim, acting like he didn't just turn his back on the only person who really kept his name alive. And the crazy part, the streets don't respect a man who switches sides that quick. Meech saw a little money, a little hype, a few empty promises, and he folded. That's the kind of mistake the game doesn't forgive. And now he's left looking foolish, standing alone with no support.
I'm gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up, when Skilla don't show up, when Vizzo don't show up, and all these show up.
But let's get into the real tea. Is 50 Cent actually sitting back, watching all of this go down with a grin on his face? Because let's be honest, there's a strong chance 50 knew this was going to happen all along. Some folks are even whispering that he pulled strings behind the scenes to make sure Meech's Welcome Back concert flopped. But let's keep it real. Why would 50 even need to get his hands dirty? Meech was already setting himself up for failure. The snitching rumors were circling. The BMF concert was giving desperate comeback instead of legendary return. And if there's one thing 50 Cent is a master at, it's watching his enemies destroy themselves. And that's exactly what happened. Just 2 hours before Meech's big Welcome Back concert was supposed to start, the whole thing got canceled out of nowhere. Ameris Bank Arena pulled the plug at the last minute, and their official statement said, "Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at point of purchase." No explanation, no warning, just straight up public embarrassment for Meech. And who was sitting back, watching it all unfold like he had already written the ending to this story? 50 Cent.
Big Meech's giant welcome home concert
I told you it was
was
gonna get
canceled.
What'd I tell you?
The bill was
What did
insane.
I say?
The list of artists on it was
Before that so-called Welcome Back concert was even officially announced, 50 Cent had already called it. He straight up told everybody it was never gonna happen. And now, he's been proven right, and he's doing what he does best, being the pettiest villain the game has ever seen. The moment that cancellation notice dropped, 50 wasted zero time rubbing it in. He posted the flyer like it was a Grammy Award, sitting back like a king who already knew the downfall was coming. And the caption? Oh, it was as slick as ever. "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am." Now, if you actually believe that, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. Because one thing about 50, he never denies anything. He just makes sure you know he's always 2 steps ahead. But 50 wasn't done. He hit Instagram again, keeping the act going, acting all apologetic. If you bought an outfit and was ready to turn up, I apologize for whoever's responsible. Let's get to that. Come on now, that's straight up villain behavior. This man was enjoying every second of this. But the final nail in the coffin? When a fan straight up accused 50 of being the one who shut the whole event down. And what did 50 do? He didn't deny it. He doubled down. He reposted the accusation and wrote, "I apologize for your trip to Miami, but they've been playing with me. So you know, let's build when y'all get back to the city." At this point, 50 is out here playing chess while everybody else is still trying to figure out how to roll the dice. Meanwhile, Big Meech is left scrambling, looking for someone to blame. But let's be real, he played himself. Rick Ross gassed him up and then abandoned him. 50 washed his hands of the situation, and now, Meech is out here standing alone. No legacy concert, no real allies, no one left to clean up the mess, And to make matters worse, the one person who was supposed to carry on the family name, Lil Meech, just lost his biggest paycheck. Lil Meech tried to play the loyalty card with 50 Cent, hoping it would save the concert, but 50 don't play that. That family first speech didn't work, and now the whole operation is falling apart. Season 4 of BMF is officially off the table, and honestly, nobody's even surprised at this point, because after everything that's gone down, it was only a matter of time before 50 Cent pulled the plug, and now we finally know why. Recently, 50 Cent dropped a bombshell on Instagram by leaking private text messages from Lil Meech. And trust me, these messages had everybody talking. In the texts, Lil Meech was practically begging 50 to understand his situation. He was out here claiming he'd give 50 the shirt off his back, while at the same time defending his father's partnership with Rick Ross. But the real plot twist. Lil Meech confirmed that Rick Ross has been financially supporting Big Meech, basically covering his bills until the next season of BMF was supposed to start. Now let's break that down, because that's crazy on so many levels. In the leaked texts, Lil Meech was venting about 50 unfollowing him on Instagram and apparently managing Skillababy with Rocket. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram and now you managing Skillababy with Rocket, when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Then Lil Meech kept going, trying to remind 50 of his loyalty. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy. I've only ever showed you love and loyalty. I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you. And then came the bombshell. F. Ross. But he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. Now let's really talk about this. Not only did Big Meech align himself with 50 Cent's biggest rival, but now he's straight up dependent on Rick Ross for financial help. And Rick Ross, oh, he's loving every second of it. This isn't just about money, it's about power. Ross is low-key controlling the situation, keeping Big Meech tied to him while driving an even deeper wedge between him and 50. And if you think 50 Cent didn't notice this chess move, think again. Even the game had something to say about this whole mess, and you already know when the game speaks, it's about to get even messier. This whole BMF drama just keeps getting wilder, and now the game has jumped in to call out Lil Meech. And if you know anything about the game, you already know he doesn't hold back. After 50 Cent leaked those private texts, the game wasted no time clowning Lil Meech for not standing firm with his father. He took to social media saying, "Just seen a text from Lil Meech to 50 that got me dying. Hey Lil Meech, you were supposed to be like, F you, this BMF, and I'm standing with my pops. Now me and Fifth got our own issues, but that ish on pause while I post this." And then he doubled down. Then Fifth said, "What's your little A-gun do? I damn near spit my water out. What happened to gangsta, man? Big Meech, you can't let 50 get at you like that." Now let's break this down. At this point, 50 Cent isn't even doing anything. He's just sitting back and watching Big Meech's empire crumble all on its own. Because this situation isn't even about snitching rumors anymore. It's about power, control, and loyalty, or lack of it. Big Meech thought he was calling the shots, but now, he's looking more like a pawn in his own story. Meanwhile, Rick Ross is playing puppet master, keeping Big Meech close, while 50 Cent watches from the sidelines, letting everything play out exactly how he predicted. The BMF legacy is crumbling, and 50 Cent saw it coming from a mile away. And now? Lil Meech, the one person who was supposed to uphold that legacy, is the very one turning his back on the man who put him on. Think about it. 50 Cent literally gave Lil Meech a career, a platform, and an entire TV show to carry on his father's name while Big Meech was locked up. And what did Lil Meech do? Instead of standing strong, he let himself get caught up in a war that had nothing to do with him. And 50 is not letting that slide. He's now taking direct shots at Big Meech's parenting, calling him out for how he handled Lil Meech's future. To make things worse, an old video just resurfaced showing Lil Meech with Rick Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts. And let me tell you, 50 wasted zero time chiming in. 50 Cent is not done talking his talk. And this time, he's putting Rick Ross and Big Meech on full blast for failing to set Lil Meech up for success. In a new round of shots fired, 50 openly questioned why Rick Ross, who is now all buddy-buddy with Big Meech, never stepped in to help Lil Meech when it really mattered. Think about it. Rick Ross is suddenly out here acting like Meech's biggest supporter, but where was all that energy when Lil Meech was trying to get his career off the ground? Where was Ross when Lil Meech needed a mentor? Where was Ross when Lil Meech had to hustle his way into the industry, struggling to build a name for himself? Oh right, nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was the one paying for Lil Meech's acting school, putting him on the BMF series, and giving him a real shot at success. And now Big Meech is out here acting like 50 was the problem. Make it make sense. 50 Cent didn't hold back. He straight up called out Big Meech for his misplaced priorities, saying instead of focusing on his son's future, he came out of prison acting like the Black Pablo Escobar and ended up wrecking everything. And let's be real, that's exactly what happened. Instead of laying low, rebuilding, and making smart moves, Big Meech aligned himself with Rick Ross, the same man who was beefing with 50 Cent for over a decade. Now, that power move is looking more like an L because the damage is already done. 50 has cut him off completely, and he is making it very clear that he does not forget betrayals. And let's not forget, this whole situation just added another layer to the already messy Rick Ross vs 50 Cent feud. Their beef goes way back to 2008, built on diss tracks, legal battles, and one infamous lawsuit that cost 50 Cent a smooth $7 million. And Ross, he kept poking the bear. Just last year, Ross took another shot at 50, calling him broke, which we all know was a lie, but 50 keeps receipts. And if history has taught us anything, it's that 50 never lets things slide. And now, neither is Gene Deal.
Can't believe a stand-up dude doing his time would suddenly say, I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat.
This drama just took a whole new turn, because now, it's not just about hurt feelings or industry betrayals. This is messing with 50 Cent's money. Word on the street is that BMF might not be getting another season, despite being one of the biggest hits on Starz. And let's be real, that's a $150 million deal on the line. For most people, walking away from that kind of money would be devastating. But 50 Cent, he plays the long game. If he built it once, he'll build it again. Because once you cross 50, there is no coming back. And now, the snitching allegations are creeping back into the picture. Let's be clear, 50 Cent didn't just pull those snitch rumors out of nowhere. Long before 50 started airing out Big Meech's dirty laundry, the whispers were already out there. People have been speculating for years that Meech didn't just get out of prison by luck. He cut a deal. And at the center of that very suspicious early release, a woman named Tammy Cowens. Now here's where things get real messy. Tammy wasn't just some random woman in Meech's life. She was one of his closest friends, a trusted confidant, but she was also a known federal informant. You see where this is going, right? Tammy allegedly played a major role in helping Meech negotiate the deal that got years shaved off his sentence. And let's be honest, nobody is walking out of prison early for free. Meech had to give the feds something major in return, and that something turned out to be his longtime friend and business partner, Dion Gatling, better known as Cuffy.
By one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech.
This situation just keeps getting messier by the second. Cuffy and Big Meech had been locked in for years, running businesses together long before Meech ever saw the inside of a prison cell. But now, the betrayal is coming to light and it's hitting close to home. Because according to Cuffy's daughter, Tamara Gatling, their family was completely blindsided when they found out that Meech was the one who set Cuffy up.
In 2011, around that time, Meech reached out to my dad in regards to creating a BMF.
They didn't put the puzzle together until they started digging into the paperwork. And guess what name kept popping up in those confidential informant reports? Big Meech. Now here's where things get even more twisted. In an attempt to keep things looking legit, Meech personally connected Cuffy with Tammy Cowens. And let's be clear, Tammy wasn't just some random name in the mix. She was Meech's power of attorney and literally owned the rights to his life story at the time. Cuffy, thinking he was stepping into a real opportunity, trusted Meech's word and believed everything was solid. Instead, he ended up behind bars. Then when the official discovery documents started rolling in, everything started clicking. Turns out the confidential informant, CS1, was none other than Tammy Cowens. But let's keep it real. Tammy wasn't moving without Meech's blessing. The Gatling family wasn't about to let this slide. They confronted Meech, demanding answers, but he shrugged it off like it was just some big misunderstanding. The deeper they dug, the more the truth unraveled. Tammy may have been the one wearing the wire, but there was no way she was working behind Meech's back. At the end of the day, Cuffy took the fall while Meech walked free. So all that talk about brotherhood and loyalty, it didn't mean a thing when the feds came knocking. But even with all this evidence staring people in the face, there are still folks out here bending over backwards to defend Big Meech. And right on cue, Young Buck jumped into the conversation, trying to cape for Meech like this was his last shot at staying relevant.
Dude, we're playing with dude. You know, I'm gonna say that much. Over and out. I catch y'all what I catch y'all.
If there's one thing we all know about 50 Cent, it's that he does not do second chances. And when Young Buck tried to defend Big Meech, 50 wasted zero time dragging him. His response, absolutely ruthless. 50 took to social media and had everybody talking. He called out Young Buck's past controversies, reminding everyone why they fell out in the first place. But here's where things got even messier. While 50 was roasting Young Buck, some people started accusing him of being a culture vulture, claiming he was just stirring up drama to sabotage BMF promotions. But let's be real for a second, who's actually benefiting from all this mess?
So BMF is BMF, but not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing them no favors. They both profited, right?
Both Big Meech and Lil Meech have made serious money off the BMF name. Big Meech's story was turned into an entire hit TV series, keeping his legacy alive for a new generation. And Lil Meech, he landed an acting career that wouldn't even exist without 50 Cent's backing. Yet somehow, 50 is the one catching heat just for calling out the truth? Make that make sense.
Oh, you know, loyalty. That mean I can't go get money elsewhere, right? If more money get presented to me, right, I'm gonna go get me a bag. I just did 20 years in prison, right? I'm not gonna let nobody stop no bags come in because of y'all beef, bro.
This isn't about clout or petty drama, it's about loyalty. And if there's one thing everybody knows about 50 Cent, it's that he does not tolerate betrayal. He stood by the BMF family, gave Lil Meech an opportunity, and helped him create his own name beyond just being Big Meech's son. But the second it became convenient, they switched up on him. And now, 50 is making it crystal clear. There's no coming back from that. Believe it or not, Lil Meech is already feeling the consequences of his big mistake. After everything 50 Cent did for him, from paying for acting school to giving him a golden opportunity in Hollywood, Lil Meech still flipped sides. And now, he's paying the price. The same Lil Meech who was living the high life on the set of BMF is now scrambling for side hustles just to make ends meet. How bad is it? The same dude who was riding around in luxury cars and rocking designer fits is now out here begging for paid promotions for $500. That's not even rent money. That's pocket change compared to the fat checks 50 was cutting him. One minute he was living the Hollywood dream, the next he's out here hustling just to stay afloat. And 50, he's sitting back watching it all unfold, completely unbothered.
What up, though, boss of all bosses? And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, you trying to make it go up, hit me right now.
And you already know 50 isn't letting that slide. If there's one thing about 50 Cent, it's that he's always going to get the last laugh. This whole situation has officially turned into one of the messiest hip-hop betrayals we've seen in a long time. Big Meech really thought loyalty meant something. But now, the same people he trusted are playing both sides, and he's the one left looking crazy. First, Rick Ross was out here promising him the world, acting like he had Meech's back. But the second things got complicated, Ross ran straight back to 50 Cent, wiping his hands clean like he was never involved. Now Meech is standing alone, realizing too late that he put his trust in the wrong person. And as if things couldn't get worse, Lil Meech is out here hustling for pennies, desperate to keep his name afloat. Imagine going from being the star of a hit TV show to begging for paid promos just to make rent. It's giving Major Downfall energy, and 50 is sitting back watching it all play out like he already knew how this story was gonna end. The entire BMF legacy is crumbling right before our eyes. And at this point, there's no coming back from this. But what do you think? Did Big Meech set himself up by turning on his own people? Or is 50 just saying what everybody's been too scared to admit? Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for all the latest tea. This drama is far from over, so stay locked in, my stars and hushers.